As the interview unfolds, we'll see that there's method in your madness, nominating a few horses that may run on Tuesday. But let's have a look. First of all, Supreme Quest, a very high-class filly.
Yeah, she's a top-class filly, Andrew. She's really run so well in her career. Since the Durban season, it looks like there's a bit of a lull in her form, but she's really well, and I think there's been some excuses for her runs. So I expect that she'll run a good race in this Pinnacle Plate. We've obviously had her in some races that got rained out, and planning the future race season going ahead for the rest of the Joburg season and into the Natal season. So she's a very nice filly, and I expect a good run from her.
Right, Golden Aspen. What hasn't been said about her is not worth saying, because she's just a model of consistency. She's been a very reliable filly for a very special group of people. What is expected of her on Thursday?
Yes, Andrew, she's a 6-time winner now. I don't think she's in the same type of class as Supreme Quest in this race, and taking on a Pinnacle Plate with her, that's probably some of the strongest opposition that she's ever faced. But she's nicely in at the weights, and this filly just keeps on surprising us. The more you give her, the more she just seems to give back, and as we've progressed through the classes, she's just kept on running consistently, and because of that, I wouldn't leave her out. Like I say, I mean, she doesn't really fit into the same class as a filly like Supreme Quest on her work year at home, but she's certainly done her bit, and it'll be very interesting to see how she'll go in this type of company.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'd rather have that kind of horse that may not show you the very, very best of work at home, but delivers her very best at the racetrack.
Pleasant surprises are always welcome, Andrew, and this is the thing with racing. You can often see horses work extremely well at home, and they disappoint you at track. And then the opposite is sometimes true, where you didn't expect anything and you get a really pleasant surprise. And that's what keeps racing interesting, and that keeps us coming back. These horses are just, with their characters and just the way that they approach it, just keeps you on your toes the whole time, and it keeps it interesting and live and current.
Yeah, it's not an exact science, but it is a science nevertheless. As we move on to Scott Adito and Big City Girl, these two fillies pair up against each other again.
Yes, Andrew, about the science, I think often it's much more of an art than a science. It sometimes boggles your mind. Yes, we got Scott Adito and Big City Girl again on Thursday, and obviously depending on how they ran on the Tuesday meeting and how they pull up, we might take another dip. We've done so little work in the last probably just more than a week, that they are fresh, and they will probably be able to handle it quite easily, but obviously all depending on how they pull up. Both of them, fillies that you can never leave out. Scott Adito, very temperamental, as I've said. Big City Girl, she's just a model of consistency. She always tries her best, and she's always there or thereabouts. So add her in, and let's have some fun.